It's about that time.
Moment, space, lives. Let's create lives. Moment, space, lives. God the Father has a body. It's a very tone body. He looks good, he looks good. Moment, space, lives. Moment, space, lives. Lives. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right. Space-wise. Moment, space-wise. Moment, space-wise. Cola.
I would like to have intimacy with you
on the planet of Naboo. Magic underwear, right there. Moment, space-wise.
Let's create
space lives. God the Father has a body. It's a very tone body.
He looks good, he looks good, he looks good, he looks good, good. Space, sex, space, sex.
Moment, space, lives. Moment, space, lives. Space error. Moment, space-wise.
Moment, space-wise.
Moment, space-wise.
Let's create space, sex, space.
Oh yeah! There's only one thing that can bring this world together, and that begins with you. But word begins with you, not you. I'm gonna tell you what word it is. Usually on the dance floor. Get that ass up. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more paid. Get more paid. I wanna see your ass poor. CEOs, yeah, I'm talking to you. Get more hoes, get more paid, get more votes, get more laid. I wanna see the CEOs ruining lives to the beat. Ruin those lives in 141 BPMs. Oh yeah. Sweet cool, sweet cool. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I wanted to continue today's live streaming. I was having so much fun earlier. I do want to have some of my smooth AI spy music in the background. There is a severe storm right now, so if the internet cuts out, that's why. Peter Northup, what's up, man? He's calling in, ready to chat. What's on your mind, dog?
What's going on, Jay?
Hey.
So I wanted to bring something to your attention. I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. So recently I've been seeing this guy, his name's Tyler Hansen, popping up all over.
Is he the Mormon guy?
Instagram and Facebook. Have you heard of this guy?
Is he the Mormon apologist?
No,
that's Jacob Hansen. Who's Tyler Hansen? He's
like this super conspiracy theorist. Recently became a Christian, not Orthodox, unfortunately, but he talks a lot about like how everyone in Hollywood is like a fallen angel, and how like most people are like government officials, basically anybody who you would know the name of.
It's already retarded.
What?
It's already retarded.
Yeah. No. So like, my question is, like,
can you spell his name?
What is the legitimacy you would see? Like, is that even like a real thing, you think?
Obviously not, dude. Come on. Everyone in Hollywood is a fallen angel. That's completely retarded from the outset.
Yeah. I mean,
what?
Like, no.
How do you spell it?
It's he has a lot of convincing arguments. And so
how could he have convincing arguments that everyone in Hollywood is a fallen angel? That's completely retarded.
Yeah, I mean,
what's his name? It's like, spell it.
Tyler Hansen. It's Tyler, and then Hanson.
O-N, okay.
Yeah. I think it's.
What is the convincing argument that everyone in Hollywood is a fallen angel?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, like, what is the argument?
He says like Trump is actually like, they all like shapeshift into each other. So like Trump is actually Elvis, and you know the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, come on, dude. Why are you wasting my time with this stuff? Come on, man. That's not convincing. Trying to ruin my stream. What's up, dude? Trump is turning into Elvis. Like, what? It's not a serious person. I gotta remember to block that dude. What's up?
Hello, Jay. You alright, man?
Huh?
Guys, I hope you're doing well. I've been trying to actually get a hold of you for ages, but due to the massive, long time difference between us, it's been quite difficult. But finally, glad I'm able to get a hold of you. Basically, my question sort of is, I don't know how much you know about the Russian Orthodox Church and about its history, but in Russia we have something called the Old Believers. I don't know how much you know about them, but basically they have been excommunicated after
I'm familiar with the basics
of Moscow between 1653 and 1656 had the reforms of the church, but not only have they been
I'm familiar with all that. Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, so I just want to know about, as to why they've been excommunicated, because from what I read and from what I've sort of looked into, their theology doesn't seem to differ.
No, they had a lot of schismatic positions. So some of the groups, and most of those groups have been reconciled to the church. I think there's a few that are still in schism. But they ended up developing really weird superstitions. Many of them lost the clergy in apostolic succession, so they kind of just became clergyless old believers. So, they basically equated minor issues with everything being dogma. So that while they might have had a point about some of the reforms that were made, you can't go into schism and create your own, parallel jurisdictions and whatnot because of something like that. And I mean, they got really, if you read the real history of them and what they came to eventually believe, I mean, they had just crazy superstitions, like you have to wash plates a certain way or demons will attack you. Literally, it's not worth even going into. Josh, what's up?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I'm actually, I was a former Protestant, kind of like you, and I kind of went to the Roman Catholic Church a little bit, but now I'm actually a Eastern Orthodox, and I love your content. I've been listening to you a little bit. So my dad is very Reformed Baptist, and he was making the argument where he doesn't think icons are necessarily idols, but he's saying like, well, there's nowhere in the scripture that you see bowing to them. And I gave him, like, I've been watching your videos, and I gave him the instance about Joshua prostrating before the Ark of the Covenant. He's like, that's a weak argument. That's not the same thing. So how would you go about this?
Well, why is it not the same thing?
He's like, that's just not a good same thing. And I said, why is that?
Why?
He's like, well, he said God commanded that.
Where does it say, where did God command Joshua to prostrate before the ark? There's no command to do that.
It did, right. And also, I said, Dad, is he worshiping the gold or in the cherubim, or is he worshiping God? He's like, well, that's different. And he wouldn't give me like right answer.
First thing is, don't debate your dad. You're never going to convince your father through debating him. And I learned this the hard way in my 20s. Looking like Mike Ditka, or excuse me. I'm the hottest E-Diva BIPOC person on the interweb right now. Literally. Trump said that Brigitte Macron was hotter than Candace, which is insane, but I'm hotter. The level of hotness that Candace is above Brigitte Macron, I'm that level of hotness above Candace. So, what are you talking about? I look like Mike Ditka. Da bears. If Mike Ditka was a sexy E-Diva, BIPOC queen, yeah, maybe. All right, let's listen to what this guy said was a convincing argument for the celebrities or Elohim, okay, or Nephilim. This comes from the fittest flat earther. Okay, come on, guys, this is ridiculous persons.
Who we got to praise? Praise the Lord. Tell everybody, praise. Praise the Lord. Who we love to praise? Praise the Lord. Only one we praise. Praise the Lord. What's his name? This starts with an L. L-O-R-D. L-O-R-D.
So this is some sort of ridiculous, looks like a wrestler, leading like the stupid evangelical prayer group. And if you can't see it, if you're listening to this later, it looks like, I don't know who this celebrity is. It looks like a wrestler, and he's joking around leading some sort of prayer group. And Mike, the flat earther, is arguing that this is going to be some sort of proof that everyone in Hollywood is a Nephilim. Come on, dude.
What's his name? It starts with an L. I thought they were talking about Jesus here.
In the video, they were singing Lord. So yeah, the word L starts with Lord.
Oh, name that starts with an L. Could they be talking about Lucifer? Could they be referring to...
They said Lord in the video, you idiot.
Lucifer as their Lord? I wonder if there are any clues. Do you think there are any clues, like him pointing down when he said...
The dude is just singing. He's not pointing down. This is so dumb, dude. This is the lowest tier schizo conspiracy just fodder, dude.
Sure. You see, you may not realize this, but a bunch of wolves in sheep's clothing have taken over the Christianity movement on the TV. That was Brendan Lake, self-proclaimed Jesus lover, kind of like this guy who plays Jesus in the show The Chosen, who just happens to do the Freemason symbol. And
well, a lot of people hold their hands in various ways. You can't immediately read into everybody's resting hand gestures that they mean something Masonic or esoteric. They could. You do have ideas of doing this kind of thing to channel mudras or whatever, like the Tates do that kind of stuff. But no, not every hand gesture. And in the case of Marky Mark, do people not know that Roman Catholics get the mark that they get dust during Lent put on their head? I did this 25 years ago, 26 years ago when I was Catholic. It's just a marker to remind you that you're in Lent. This is so stupid.
The, shush, don't tell I know something you don't. And this guy, I'm about to expose them all. Why don't we start with Mark Wahlberg, who's just a big Christian, and he pushes a Christian app. He's so Christian. Why don't we take a look a little closer?
Well, first of all, I don't like this goofy app where you act like you're praying with everyone on an app. I think that's corny and it's pretentious. But no, I don't think that this is necessarily what makes you a non-Christian. I'm booting that dude.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Stay prayed out for a Sunday of Lent.
So it's cringy and it's like performative, right, to do this, but it's not like some form of occultism. This is so stupid.
His app is the Hallow app with a little angel.
Hallow? So he thinks that the word hallow, this is schizo stuff, dude. This is what idiot schizos do to make everybody in our sphere look stupid because they don't understand how words work. And just like schizophrenics, they think that words mystically, metaphysically cause some other thing to be the case, right? So if I say the word hallow, well, you said hell in the first part of the word, the first few syllables were hell, so I guess you're talking about hell. Okay, this is Jordan Maxwell level schizo stuff, and anybody who is pushing this is retarded.
Halo there. Hal-El, the original name for Lucifer, the head fallen.
This is too stupid to even entertain or refute. Anybody who thinks this is just dumb. I wanted to see his video that everyone in Hollywood. Oh man, I mean, just look at this shit, dude. Okay, and of course, this guy's getting like 30,000 views on just absolute nonsense. Donald Trump is Elvis. Tim Tool is dude, come on, man. This is retarded shit. I'm embarrassed that dude even called in here. Please don't ever call me again. Go away. Fallen angel vampire children.
When the sons of God, angels, came into the daughters of men, they created the Nephilim.
That tracks.
Yes. Yeah, she told me she felt like she got abducted at one point.
Okay.
So I was just like,
so there may be something to this.
No, there really is.
Wow.
Is that Machine Gun Kelly? And he's saying that what's her face is a Nephilim. So this guy thinks that this means she's a Nephilim.
Or I'm a vampire, but it's either or.
You do got fangs and shit.
Yeah, so either one.
And honestly, is there anybody dumber and more gullible than an evangelical? Alejandro, what's up, man? What's up?
Hey, Jay. I won't take up your time. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for everything you do. Watch you all the time. Secondly, I was the one that sent you a super chat earlier talking about I think you're muted.
No, I'm not muted.
Talking about how I sent you, or not you, I sent real life fake wizard a super chat talking about your book because it relates.
And
to
this is a YouTube guy?
Yeah, it's a YouTuber.
Okay.
I think you'd like him. He's pretty cool, but he's on a bit of a normie side when it comes to like Hollywood and stuff, obviously. But he's not the only one I've spread your book to.
Okay.
I don't want people to know about that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wasn't trying to bother you, nothing.
I'm not bothered. Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with this guy. Looks like he covers a lot of Hollywood stuff. Does he just critique stuff, or looks like here he's talking about?
He talks a lot about like the culture of Hollywood.
Oh.
That's the whole reason I even recommended your books to him.
Okay.
And he actually seemed interested, so
Cool.
he wrote it down. He's been looking into it. He hasn't had a chance to read it, he said, but he's been looking into it. But he's not the only one I've recommended your book to. Obviously, I'm trying to get you really out there, because it seems when I hear other YouTubers talk about Hollywood, and they kind of seem confused, like, why is Hollywood spreading all this demonic stuff and all this? And I'm like, dude, let me point you to the perfect source for the exact reason that you're asking right now.
Cool. Well, appreciate that, Alejandro. Yeah, I mean, we try to cover this stuff from a quality level. I'm not saying that this guy isn't quality. I don't know anything about him, but like that previous conspiracy nonsense channel that we just looked at, like that stuff is just garbage. What's up, man?
Yo, I'm also a big fan. I did have a quick question because I seen what Sam Shimon said, and I'm not trying to stir up any hate or anything. I just wanted to ask, like, what is your response to the fact that, like, Jesus is subordinate, or not subordinate, but like he submits to the Father because the Father is the source. Like the way
that's what I believe.
The Father submits to that the Son submits to the Father because the Son took on human flesh.
Yeah, but I just read it as a hypostatic origin statement. There's nothing heretical about what I said. He's just looking for something to deflect away from the fact that I challenged him to debate the papacy and the papacy's teaching on Islam. And so he had to come up with some other fake made up drama that I'm somehow a heretic on the monarchia of the Father. The word God is a generic term. It can be a reference to the divine person or the divine nature or the divine energies and to non-divine agents. So there's nothing inconsistent with saying that the Father, that the Son submits to the Father in the sense of being deriving his origin and his existence from the Father. I never said that there's some sort of ontological diminished status of the Son or that he's in some way lesser than the Father ontologically. I said that all of those phrases, as everybody in our sphere has been arguing for forever about the monarchia, it just simply means hypostatic origin. And yeah, you can also read it as the Cappadocians do as well, as texts that refer to the status of the Son being incarnate or to his human nature versus his status from all eternity. You can read it in either way. Neither of those positions is some way inherently heterodox. So he just made up something that he thought would deflect away, because as you see here, initially I offered the debate. You see it right here. I want to put it on screen for you guys. Here's the offer of the debate. Sam Shamoon, I openly challenge you to debate Rome's claims about Islam at Vatican II. Then what did he say? You need to debate Elijah Yassi. Why can't you, as a Catholic apologist, defend your papacy? Now, you've been a Catholic now for several years. There's no reason why you can't defend the papal position and what it teaches about Islam at Vatican II. But he knows that's a career ender because he spent 20 years arguing that Allah is a demon. Well, the Vatican says otherwise. So he has to submit to that. That's why he doesn't want to go there. So he's made up a grift version of his own Catholicism called Apostolic Christianity, which is all of these sects in unison together. And his proof was, well, there's miracles, Fatima and Zaytun. That's not a proof. And you guys heard him crash out on that Orthodox guy that asked him a simple question as to why that would prove his version of Apostolic Christianity. And why wouldn't it prove Coptic, right? If Mary appears to the Coptics, why doesn't that prove Coptic Christianity? If Mary appears to Roman Catholics at Fatima, why doesn't that prove Roman Catholicism? So he's made up this position that it proves all of them, which it doesn't. It makes no sense. Mary can't support schism and heresy, so that's preposterous. So what he's done is come up with a deflection and smokescreen about some nonsense that I'm not teaching the monarchia correctly, which he didn't even spell right. He can't even spell monarchia. Spelled a mionarchia. When there's nothing I said that's heterodox. He knows good and well that I don't teach that the son is ontologically less than the father. He's just a liar. He's a complete lunatic. And it doesn't matter how many times I show you guys that he claims that he's a prophet and has these prophetic charismatic powers because of orbs. You guys continue to follow him and believe him, and it's completely retarded. Again, let me play you the clip that shows that this guy's a loon. He should, the reason he should not be listened to is because he claims that he has this quasi-prophetic ministry because orbs appear on his streams, which are dust particles.
So
this is a lunatic. How do you people not understand that this is a mentally ill lunatic? Here he is claiming it right here.
The orbs are confirmation. I believe they are. It's not for the purpose of making me puffed up or you idolizing me. It's a reminder, as weak as we are, as sinful as we are, as imperfect as we are, the Holy Spirit Almighty is still working in and through us because he loves us and he's.
Now, when everybody dug these clips up, and there's many other clips where he says this, he lied and said he was joking right here. Does he sound like he's joking? Does he sound like he's joking? He's not joking. He's saying this proves and confirms his, quote, online cult ministry. He's possessed. He's a lunatic, obviously. Why does anyone listen to this person? Let me play it for you again. Does he sound like it's a joke?
So if the orbs are confirmation, I believe they are. It's not for the purpose of making me puffed up or you idolizing me. It's a reminder, as weak as we are, as sinful as we are, as imperfect as we are, the Holy Spirit Almighty is still working in and through us because he loves us and he's.
Now, if orbs are just dust particles, as they obviously are, then he's a false prophet and no one should listen to him. And notice again, do you remember he did this last time when I asked to debate him and his idiot opponent or his idiot butt buddy that he fell out with, Leather Daddy Albrecht? Remember when he and Leather Daddy Albrecht were perfect butt buddies together? And then what happened? Oh, they, of course, as usual, ended up hating each other because this guy's absolutely insane. And he runs off every single person that's worked with him. What is it now? What are we up to now? 15 people that have worked with him. Who knows how many to 20 who have worked with him that he runs off because he's absolutely psychotic. He needs to be in some sort of mental institute and give it time before he does something. He tried to prophesy that my wife is going to leave me because he thinks he's a prophet. It's total fraud. Just wait until he does something. But this guy is so insane. He's going to snap one day and end up in jail. Now, what does he say? He says, I will debate you. What did he do last time? He says, yeah, I'll debate you, but debate William Albrecht. Albrecht agrees to a debate on the crucible, and then he backs out of it. I played the clip 1,000 times. I'm not playing it again. So what does he do this time? And what did he do then? He said, oh, you don't teach what Gregory Palamas says because Palamas says Muslims and Christians worship the same God. And he misquoted the text from Palamas, and we showed that on the stream with Kai. Now, what's he do this time? But that was not the topic of the debate. The topic of the debate was supposed to be energies, which he backed out of and got his butt buddy to do, and his butt buddy backed out. But he did the same thing of deflecting and turning into some argument about what Palamas said in some passage when that wasn't the debate. It was supposed to be about the energies themselves. What does he do here? Does the exact same thing. I challenged him to debate the doctrine that Rome now has about Islam, and he changes it into, he's a heretic on the monarchia of the Father. This dude just learned about the monarchia of the Father a few years ago, learned it from people in our circles like Dr. Bo Branson, did multiple streams that were half gay where he was talking about how hot Bo Branson was. I'm not joking. Go find his streams about Bo Branson. He does 20 minutes talking about how good looking Bo Branson is. So he's probably bi, okay? And he struggles with that as well as whatever disgusting cereals that he can't stop eating because he's a tub of lard. This person is absolutely a lunatic. Nobody should spend any time around this person. And the longer that you do, it's just a matter of time before you realize he's nuts and he's not worth interacting with. Now, why did I do this? Because people in his chat constantly come over here and say, what about Sam? When are you going to make up with Sam? When are you going to debate Sam? Fine. Here's the offer. And I want all of you idiots and all you low IQ people from his chat. Do you see that he didn't accept the offer? And that he changed it to the doctrine of the meonarchia, which he misspelled? So what is the point of ever interacting with this person? Sal, what's up?
Hello.
Yep.
I just have one question. Do you know who Tad Palooza is?
What?
Do you know who Tad Palooza is?
No.
All right, sorry. Bye.
No idea what that was. Petros, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Jay?
Yeah, what's up?
Quick question about about Father Seraphim Aldea. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, so Father Seraphim Aldea, I've listened to a lot of his stuff and I really like some of the things he says, but he kind of comes off as like, I think you described him as like a Western commie, you know? And
what would you possibly like from that guy? What would you possibly like from him? Like, what's wrong with you?
What didn't I like from him?
What could you possibly like from him? Like, what is the malfunction in you to make you think that he's good? It baffles me when people say this stuff.
I would say with like every Orthodox priest, he has some good things that he said, and then.
Okay, but is that the measure of how we go about things? Is that we just find who has a few good things? Because every heretic says a few good things.
Well, and everybody's a heretic in some way, shape, or form. Right?
No, that's not true. Where did you get that idea? How is everyone a heretic?
Have you ever held a heretical view?
That's not what makes a person a heretic. A heretic is a person who's obstinate in their error in the face of extensive correction. So to willingly and knowingly oppose what the church teaches is what makes a person a heretic, not simply being wrong. So where did you get the idea that that's what a heretic is?
Sure. Okay. I'm not going to argue.
So when Seraphim Aldea says that all of the ortho converts in America are actually demonically inspired and none of them are actually saved, how is that a godly man?
Yeah, that was actually my question. Actually, going over to that because I do disagree with him saying that. And I did.
Do you agree with pacifism?
Huh?
Do you agree with his pacifism?
No, I don't.
Okay, so then you admit that he teaches heresy.
Huh?
So you admit that he teaches heresy.
Right, he does. Yeah.
Okay, well then there's no reason for you and I to talk. If you want to support a person and you like a person that's a heretic, then there's your answer right there. Good luck with that. Here are my videos responding to this absolutely subversive person. And no, I don't tolerate anybody who wants to promote and support openly subversive people. Well, he said some nice things. So? L. Ron Hubbard said nice things. So what? I mean, these are the worst people because they're the most subversive within Orthodox Christianity. That's like saying, well, the people at Fordham say some good things in their scholarship, so I guess we need some Skittles in Orthodoxy because they say some nice things. So no, you need a severe check on your discernment, and you actually sound like a subversive yourself to me. So. Speaking of subversives, so we had this lunatic lose his mind today on me for absolutely no reason. I've always been kind to this dude. We've had charitable DMs in the past, like a year or two ago. So let's rehearse exactly what happened with this guy and why. I still don't exactly understand why he had such a meltdown, because in DMs, he tried to explain it to me. And his DMs were not making any sense to me. So I don't, say this in a mean way. Like, Perhaps this is a person who, has depression issues, bipolar issues. I don't know. And I'm saying that in a serious way. He seemed to think that everything I was saying to him was mockery. No, if I'm pointing out that you have a fallacious line of argumentation, I'm not mocking you. It's really weird to think that any criticism is some sort of bizarre personal attack and mockery. Okay, so let's look at what he says. And this is going to be very relevant to the issue of just war and all of the stuff that was said last week by all the Roman Catholics attacking me on Instagram, and literally attacking, not like just criticizing or memeing. I don't care about any of that. But actual attacks and criticizing a person in their line of argumentation, that's not an attack on you. It's very effeminate and passive aggressive psycho, actually, to think that me criticizing the argument you made is some sort of personal attack on you. Dude's acting like a woman. He says Pope Leo is a man of God. First of all, he's not. Right? So the fact that Pope Leo claims to be a man of God, or because he's against the war in Iran, that's not enough to make you a, quote, man of God. So this is a false standard of what counts as a righteous man or a man of God. Every Orthodox Christian should know that the Pope is a heterodox, false religious leader. So from the outset, that disqualifies him from being a good dude, regardless of what his positions are on war that are virtuous and correct, right? So most people have the wrong standards by which they judge things. And then they don't understand why I would be so vehement against somebody like a heresy arc when they're putting political positions above the damnable sin of heresy. Heresy kills the soul. Warfare kills the body. So you understand that even warfare in the correct Christian perspective, that's less damning and less harmful than the sin of heresy. Heresy kills the souls, and perhaps the souls of millions and perhaps 1 billion people through the corrupt institution of the Roman Catholic Church. So only when you have the wrong moral paradigm that's not informed by the Orthodox ethos would you then think that having an anti-war position somehow makes you a righteous man of God at the same time as deluding 1 billion people in the world through insane level heresies, which we all saw this week. Leo literally said the most insane stuff all week long about Islam. And does this PDB person not even know what Islam says? Does he not know what Leo was saying all week about Islam? Why are these people falling into the lowest tier dialectic that if Zionism is false, then we must then align with Muslims? This is so stupid. It's so basic bitch level dialectics and such a basic mistake. It's blowing my mind that so many people are thinking this. And unfortunately, I like Tucker a lot. Been a big fan of Tucker, been supporter of Tucker for a good while. I do absolutely disagree with this position that Tucker is now also on board with, that we can make an alliance with Muslims because they're nicer to Jesus. That's all facade. It's all fake. And that's separate from the question of, is every single individual Muslim aware of the fullness of their theological mistakes? No. So there might be a lot of nice Muslims who don't actually understand the principles of deception that are in the Quran. For example, the statement in the Quran that says that you can hate them in your heart, but smile at them with your face. And that's talking about in the context of when they're in the minority. So if you're a Muslim and you're in the minority, you can pretend to be friendly to those who have power. And then when you get in power, you have to enact the subordination through the jizya and other actions, and perhaps even execution, because you have to forbid the promotion of polytheism. And they think that the Trinity is a doctrine of polytheism and paganism. So you understand that Islam is not your friend. And for Pope Leo, following his Antichrist Vatican doctrine that Muslims, Christians, and Jews all worship, not mentally recognize monotheism, but worship the same God, is an Antichrist position. So Pope Leo is an Antichrist, but this man has no clue about that. He says, Leo is a man of God because he's calling for peace and not war. No, that's a false equivocation. It depends on what you're calling, why you're calling for peace. For example, what if I called for peace because I believe that in this case, peace serves the designs of our Lord Satan? Would that make me suddenly a man of God because I'm saying that I believe in peace. No, but the reasons why is what matters. And this is what the idiot Roman Catholics didn't understand and tried to, the Gen Z Roman Catholics on TikTok and Instagram are unfathomably stupid. They are so stupid. It blows my mind that even when you explain positions, they can't understand what you're saying. They think that just war itself is now no longer the Catholic teaching because we're supposed to be anti-war. That's what this guy's arguing, right? This guy argues that because Leo is against war, that makes him righteous. No. I said that there's a contradiction between the previous papal teaching and today's papal teaching. And they said, so you're for Israel's war. You're for Israel's war. Why you support Israel's war? I don't support that war. I've done 40 podcasts against it for a year. But you're actually talking about people who are functionally incapable of distinguishing basic lines of reasoning. I'm serious. I say that Leo contradicts previous teaching about just war. That was the argument. They say, why are you supporting Israel? You must be paid $7,000. Just hundreds of Roman Catholics saying this. What? They're they're as bad as the Muslims. We have a giant horde of people like this PDB guy, who, by the way, botted his account. You can tell very clearly he's got multiple posts in the last week with 9 likes, 16 likes. He supposedly has 300,000 followers. Total baloney. He says, if you're Catholic and struggling, well, guess what? I'm Greek Orthodox. Come over to our side. We aim to be more battle-tested in a mindset rooted in tradition. That doesn't mean we're perfect. I've openly called out Archbishop Pitaforos as a political agent. By the way, but that some of you are attacking the Pope is wild. It's demonic. No, it's not. To refute the papacy depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. Doing it itself is not necessarily demonic. The aggression and the motives behind it have not been critically thought out, or perhaps even worse, they have been. You are using a man of God as a target of your own politics. This is just so low tier. Like, what are you talking about? No, if I disagree with the papacy because of his contradiction on just war, and if I agree with Pope Leo on his position on the Iran war being wrong, that doesn't make Pope Leo righteous. It doesn't mean that I'm using him for politics. That's preposterous. I mean, he may not be talking about me personally. I'm just saying theoretically, the persons in general that he's talking about here. What exactly is he saying about war that is wrong? He is calling for peace. What he said that is wrong is that all wars in the name of God are wrong, and God never hears any prayer by a person waging a war. This would directly contradict countless instances in the Old Testament, and it would directly contradict and does contradict multiple examples of the papal states going to war and medieval crusades called by the popes, as everyone knows. So that means that according to Leo's new teaching, God never heard David, Abraham, all of whom went to war. In fact, in Exodus 23, it says that Jesus went out to war for the Israelites when they took the promised land in that theophany. So that would mean that Jesus now is against the Father because he goes to war. He is a man of war. But none of these people know they don't know anything about biblical theology. These people are just sounding off on Twitter as if they know anything, and they're complete idiots. And the only reason this guy got 152 likes on this post is because it was politically relevant. The rest of his posts have 9 and 16 likes, which is preposterous for an account with 300,000 followers, which is why I started calling him out, saying, you botted your account, you're a freaking fraud, just like I said you were. Keep issues out of this thread. Learn to read and tackle the issue. Now, if you're going to start preaching at us about education, then you need to be aware of when you commit logical fallacies. For example, fallaciously strawmanning my argument. This is what led to this whole meltdown from this guy, because I merely said, Your argument is a straw man. I never argued for the war in Iran. I said that Pope Leo is not righteous and a tool of the globalists. And then you said, are you for the war? Why are you supporting war? Well, first of all, I don't out of hand support war. If it's a legitimate defensive stance, then yes, I do. That's a version of just war, which I think we could argue for. But that is not the same thing as supporting all war. He says, yo, let's go through what I said. Being anti-war is not enough to make a person a man good. Where in my comment about Leo being a globalist did I ever advocate for war? This is a bizarre conclusion. I support legitimate defensive wars, but I've done probably 40 podcasts against the Iran war. And his response to me was just literally to cuss me out. Right? Now, he might have deleted some of these, I don't know, but everybody saw it all day that he was just nonstop. You're a gaggot, you're a pussy, you're this, you're that, F you, just nonstop. Like a wine mom SSRI level meltdown. And so I said to him, dude, where in any of what I said is that a sensible response? Let's go back to so he forgot to delete that. Looks like he's going back and deleting the tweet too, that or he's blocked me, I don't know. But he says, I'm not a gaggot that does a bunch of spaces. And the other thing I realized is that as he kept tweeting, he actually argued that the reason that the Pope is a man of God, you'll see it right here, he says, is because he wants world disarmament. Excuse me, that's the United Nations agenda of removing all gun rights and to create a socialist world government. That's the Marxist UN agenda, which, by the way, is also part of Gaudium et Spes, the Vatican II document. So this idiot thinks that the Christian position is pacifism and global disarmament. No, that's the United Nations UNESCO position. That's the Seraphim Aldea position that these socialists push. Now, I don't think PDB is a socialist because supposedly he's involved in trading or economics. I don't know what he's involved in, but people say that he was a stock trader or something. I don't know. Who knows if this is even a real profile? But no, it is not at all any coherent Christian position to say that world disarmament is what a man of God would want. That's just absolutely insane. So I've done multiple streams demonstrating that Vatican II at Gaudium et Spes teaches disarmament and a Fabian socialist style world government. I don't know why no one out here pays attention to that. I think this is one of the overlooked absolute gotchas and kill shots on Vatican II beyond the theology, where the Vatican is adopting a United Nations socialist stance that previous eras of the papacy in the 1800s and the multiple papal encyclicals condemning liberalism and socialism and the Ceylon movement by Pius X when he condemned that same principles, all of that is absolutely contradicted by Gaudium et Spes. And no Roman Catholic at all to date has even responded to the Gaudium et Spes argument that I've been making for a year now. Not one response. What's the only response you get from Trent Horn and all these guys? Well, the papacy is proven by here's my quote mine. That's all they do. That's all they can debate. All they want to debate is the papacy. Okay, how about I argue for the papacy being disqualified by geopolitics? Oh, not one of them will debate me on that. Not one. So, this guy literally, look at here's his responses to me just simply saying, you straw man my position. That's the only thing I said to this guy. And it's just a total meltdown. F off, Gagget. F off. I mean, dude calls me that like 20 times, like just nonstop, just calling me that. And so then I looked a little more into this guy's profile, and what do we see? Oh, this had 16 likes with an account with how many? 306,000 followers. I'm sorry, if you have 306,000 followers, you don't consistently get 5 likes, 15 likes, 22 likes. Then he puts up cat pictures. I mean, is this even a real person? 21 likes, right? 12 likes. Polymarket and Kalshi are next. Talking about economic stuff. 300,000 followers and 20 likes. 12 likes. Come on, dude. 31 likes. Here's one with 1 like. And then it set him off even more when I offered to have him come and chat, and he melted down even more, went crazy. And then in the DMs he says, "Why are you attacking me?" I'm like, "What are you talking about, dude? I'm not. What are you like? Are you trying to gaslight me? This is straight up fetish behavior, bro." He's like, "You mocked me personally, and that's why I cussed you out." I'm like, "You think that me saying that you strawman my position is mocking you?" I mean, it just, none of this makes any sense. So this is exactly why I block people, because people are not sane anymore. They're psychotic. They are unhinged. They have no idea what reality is. They're living in alternate realities in their mind. They think that a guy who's a flat earther with arguments that all the people in Hollywood are good, or he has good solid arguments. Like, what? That's preposterous, dude. It's just utterly schizo. I think everyone's just going schizo. Like, the whole world is going schizo. And then you've got like you got spooks, kooks, and crooks. And sometimes those are all three, right? You can have the evil trinity of the spook, the kook, and the crook all in one. And perhaps that evil trinity is manifesting, as Sam Scam Shamu would say. FDA, what's up, man?
It's so funny. I was just going to make a joke about SSRIs, and I see on your Twitter you already put it.
Yeah, I told him to put down the SSRIs. So.
What do you think, though? Let's talk. Like, we live in such a crazy world, right? Like, everybody is on SSRIs.
Correct.
Polypharmacy, and then the world's becoming more and more fragmented and just crazy. But I think, like anything, like they're having a crisis, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
A meltdown because they're crazy.
Yeah, I think such momentous world events are happening, right? From the Big 9 event, and then it's sort of like getting faster and more intense as you move from the Big 9 event up to present day. That the COOF drove a bunch of people insane. The COOF broke a lot of people's minds, right? When the COOF,
that's exactly what one of my parishioners said. Last year we were walking to the grocery store, and there was like, you rarely see somebody with a mask in Montana, but we looked on like, look at that person. I said, they're still wearing a mask, and they look terrified. And he said the COOF broke people.
Yeah, it broke their minds.
Like, that's exactly what it literally broke people.
Yeah, the COOF broke people, and yeah, like the chat's saying, this is the real conspiracy. This is by design to drive people insane. In fact, I just remembered Tavistock and Huxley both said that they would try to push a kind of schizophrenic break in the population in mass for the purpose of eventually moving things into the technocratic agenda. So you're absolutely correct. I forgot they said. I need to dig that quote up. I'm pretty sure it's in the context of Tavistock and Aldous Huxley. But yeah, that's definitely what's going on. Guys, I want to remind you that you can super chat me right there. Go ahead, Father Day.
The other thing too is that, and you get this in Larche's got a good book on
The media book.
New epidemic, where it's talking about social media, but just the way that we process information, and think about intelligent agencies that get a hold of this and co-opt it and manipulate propaganda and stuff, whether it's from the wars or something like this. But I was also thinking that could be a part of it. I think they've definitely even used the tiny hat people. I mean, look at the issue with Candace Owens, right? Totally insane. Right? And I think, like, where she's believing in, like, teletransporters and, like, how does somebody get to that? I think it has something to do with the medium. The information and the propaganda and the inability to, like, everything's so fragmented. If you think about, too, the rise in PTSD among soldiers, it's not just like because they're going to war. They're having, and it's not just because they're doing psyops on military, right? Which they are. They're coming back from a moral harm, as they call it, and warfare. And what does Dr. Batista say? They're excommuned, right? They're fragmented. They're out. They're broken. And what do they come back into? He says the opposite of war is not peace; it's liturgy. Soldiers are not reintegrated into communion. What are they brought back into? A crazy, fragmented society that's absolutely insane, and nothing makes sense. And I think that's part of it too. That the whole kind of social media and the amount of the medium and the information lens to then add on polypharmacy and SSRIs and all this other stuff too. It's madness.
So here is that reference from last week of the Roman Catholics where they are memeing me over here on Instagram. And by the way, this doesn't have 1,600 likes. This has like 5,000 likes now. So because they think that this is some massive own that they got dire with. And I mean, the meme itself is even retarded, right? So here's Jesus saying, when you spread out your hands in prayer, I hide my eyes from you. Even when you offer many prayers, I am not listening. Your hands are full of blood. And then the Pope is saying, yes, my Lord. And then it's me saying, this is heresy, actually. This meme is so stupid and so low tier that it almost blows my mind that all of these Gen Z Instagrammers actually think this. Like, first of all, the argument is not that the papacy is now obeying Jesus's pacifism. The argument is that the papacy prior to the 1960s revolution in the church openly taught just war doctrine and engaged in open warfare many, many, many times. Back to the papal states and into the Middle Ages, the Medici papacy, the Renaissance papacy, Crusades, you name it. All of these are examples of papal warfare. Not to mention the Old Testament examples of God hearing people like David or Abraham or anyone else in the Old Testament that went to war, namely even his son in Exodus 23 who went to fight before the Israelites. So this is so stupid and so low tier, they don't even understand what's happening here. What I said was, go ahead.
You understand, Jay.
What?
It's just like the Mormon argue. If you're a true prophet, you can write yourself back into Scripture. Well, if you're the true church, can't you do this?
Can't you restate and No, you can remake history, right? What the Pope can just decree, actually there were no crusades. There you go. So metaphysically now history is altered apparently because there were no crusades. And the Roman Catholic Church has always been pacifist. Where am I getting this?
Okay. You know what's actually funny? Help me out with this. I got to leave in a few minutes, but I'm going to have some Roman Catholic students as I'm doing the Orthodoxy class, and we're getting into the doctrines of the Theotokos, and we'll be critiquing the Immaculate Conception. Do you know that they actually have a theory of the Immaculate Conception that Mary time travels?
No.
That. Oh yeah, it's called. Hold on a second. That she. So she wasn't originally, no pun intended, without original sin, immaculately conceived, but that she used her free will in time to do this, and then retrospectively goes into eternity and goes back into time and establishes the Immaculate Conception.
Wow.
That's what a true church can do. You can actually have an effect be the cause in a contradictory time loop, you see. So you're talking about changing history, but like that just sounds like Roman Catholic theology anyways.
Yeah. So what has the Vatican said since the 1960s, and then more specifically under John Paul II, who was, as far as I'm aware, the first pope to more explicitly reject the death penalty? And you understand that by extension, rejecting the death penalty also leads to a position of pacifism where there's no longer just war. Now, maybe you think that there is no just war or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to the position that I'm critiquing, which is an internal critique of the Roman Catholic position of formerly teaching just war and now saying pacifism is the case. That's a contradiction. Francis said that the death penalty is inadmissible under his CDF, right? Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. That's the successor to the Holy Office of the Inquisition. Under Francis, it dictated that you cannot believe in the death penalty anymore. John Paul II changed the Catholic Catechism to also oppose the death penalty famously. I was a trad cat when it happened. Pope Leo says that if you support the death penalty, you are not pro-life. So apparently, in his mind, murder and killing are equivalent. They're not. Sometimes, in some cases, killing is legitimate and just, whereas murder is a crime, and they're not the same thing. It's bizarre to me that these people can't make this distinction. Pope Leo said in his Palm Sunday homily that God never justifies war, and no one who prays or goes to war in the name of God is justified because God doesn't hear that. That's a pacifist perspective which contradicts previous Roman Catholic actions and just war theory. So that was the argument. And no, people are saying maybe the Roman Catholics were trolling you. No, they weren't, because in the comments, I went and responded to these people. They actually said, we know that you're supporting the war in Israel and you took $7,000. Tons of them saying this to me. Now, I opposed the war in Iran for the whole last year on about 40 podcasts and shows. So just totally dishonest. They're absolute liars and they're dumb. Like they're as dumb as the Muslims now. Here is, by the way, I wanted to remind you guys, this is premiering tomorrow. Keep in mind, everybody has been asking me incessantly. I've probably gotten 100 questions. When is the Jesse Lee Peterson show coming out? Tomorrow. Okay. I don't have any control over when and how these people post these things. The John Kiriakou interview, by the way, will be up Saturday. I will be at the debate with the Freemason Saturday, so I won't be able to, be there and watch that premiere. But you can check that out on John Kiriakou's YouTube channel Saturday. I don't know what time, but that's when that's coming on. But also the Freemason debate is being live streamed on some channel. I forget the exact name of that channel, but it'll all be posted. I'm sure you guys will have no problem finding it. Here's the clip for the teaser for the Jesse Lee Peterson conversation. That is tomorrow.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Do you cry over Mother Mary on Friday nights?
I don't cry. I don't know where he got this idea that he thinks that we're Catholics and that all Catholics get together on Friday nights and cry over Mary. I'm not joking. I don't know where he probably saw like some religious event where Roman Catholics were weeping, or they were like, I don't know, doing some sort of penance or something. And he got it in his head that on Fridays, everyone who's a Catholic, and he thinks Orthodox are Catholics, that we all get together and we pray, we cry over Mary. So, Father Deacon, are you going to the Mary weeping service tomorrow night? Father Deacon, are you there? FDA. All right, he's not there. So tomorrow night, everybody, is our weekly weeping service on Friday nights for Mother Mary. No idea what he's talking about. That's why I started laughing when he said it. I was like, what? For her. But we
I'm black and slow, so.
I'm BIPOC too. I identify as black. So that way I get away with a lot more.
That's why you were late. You believe in God. Why do you still have anger?
We're all in a fallen state. As long as we're in this life, we're still going to be liable to sins, passions, and temptations.
Satan is a woman's God.
No, that's Gnosticism.
That's nasty.
When you mention words, he has no idea what you're talking about. I said to say that Satan is the god of the woman is Gnostic, and he said, "You talking about nasty? What that is? Nasty? No, Gnosticism. What that?" So absolutely hilarious interview from beginning to end. I think it's going to go down as the podcast of the year, if I do say so myself. At least my podcast of the year. This one was so wild, so insane. On the anger thing, he seems to think that, like, he doesn't make a distinction between having the passion or acting in an instance of anger. He thinks if you have it, you have it at all times, and you are angry, right? Like it's part of your identity. It's almost like a smushing of volition into the person. And so he says, "Do you have anger? Do you have anger?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm sure at times I get angry. Why do you have anger in your heart?" And I'm like, "Well, everybody has actions and sins in their heart." And so that never seemed to register with him. So I think he thinks that there's some kind of like perfectionism. Like you can attain a state of sort of like moral perfection where you don't have any sins, which is crazy. And by the way, that's actually also the teaching. A lot of these Black Aryan groups, like remember Bryson Gray? Bryson Gray thinks he teaches the heresy of perfectionism, right? That you have to attain a sinless state to be saved. Actually thinks he doesn't sin. I mean, the dude's absolutely just deluded. And it's the exact same with Jesse Lee Peterson, right? There's an inability to make a distinction between the person and this or that action. Like he collapses the actions into the person. And so if you had an action where you're angry, then you are anger. And I'm like, well, no. There's a difference between the person and the actions, right? This goes along with the essence center distinction. Somebody said he's a Wesleyan. He's not a Wesleyan. Wesleyans believe in the deity of Christ. And Jesse Lee Peterson is an Arian. So we have a pretty significant debate over the deity of Christ and the Trinity in this discussion. But what I realized in my perspective, my opinion, and I kind of asked him a little bit about this in the interview. I said, "Did you have an abusive mom?" Because I think what happened was my guess is that he had a tough upbringing, perhaps an abusive mom. And then he read the book of Genesis and basically read that experience into Genesis to lead it. That's how he got to the conclusion that that women are somehow the gates of hell and that Satan is the god of the woman. And I'm like, no, that's crazy. Yes, Jesse Lee Peterson 100% denies the deity of Christ. He always has. And we had a significant debate about the Trinity and the deity of Christ. And then he started trying to troll me a little bit. And I'm like, dude, I can control you right back, dog. And I started trolling him. I'm going to save what the troll section was. You guys are going to love it. But anyway, that is coming up tomorrow. So be sure and watch that. And remember to go get your tickets for this weekend's Freemason debate in Nashville, Tennessee. Me versus Chase Geyser. I don't know why they didn't put Chase Geyser on here, because presumably he would want to be, billed as the opponent. Maybe he knows he's going to lose, and so he didn't want his name out there as the Mason that I'm debating. But it's supposed to be Chase Geyser and some dude that's his, like, I don't know who this other guy is, but let me get you the link. Actually, guys, the link is in the show description. So if you want the link to get tickets this weekend, the link is in the show description. Shout out to Jonathan Pajot, by the way, for an excellent interview earlier today. It's the Crossroads debate. Thank you. Thank you to me. That's the channel that will stream it. I could not think of the name of this channel. Not the Bone Thugs and Harmony. Meet you at the crossroads, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. It's that Thug as Drug as Bone, not Crossroads, Bone Thugs and Harmony, but Crossroads Debate channel. I know that DJ created a channel. Let's see. I think this, no, is that it? I don't know if that's it. I know there's an Instagram. And if you go to the Instagram, the channel, because I know a lot of y'all are not going to be in Nashville and not able, and you keep asking me, is it going to be on a live stream? Yes. Yes, it is. Let me see if I can find it over here. Let's go to the Instagram, Crossroads Debates. I thought he had a YouTube channel linked in here. Let me see. Okay, it's supposed to be live streamed somewhere, but I don't know where. And I don't see it. I thought there was a YouTube link on here, but I don't know. Anyway, get your tickets in the show description. John Adams, what's up, dog? Zup, dog. You want to unmute?
I was saying he probably thinks that Stations of the Cross is when you get together and weep over Mary.
Okay, maybe that's what he's thinking. Yeah, I actually think that he wouldn't even know what that is, though. Because
I'm saying, but by way of just hearing about like a Friday night where you're, praying the stations.
Oh, okay.
That's typically done on Friday, so he interprets that to get together on the Friday and weep over Mary.
Yeah, and when he was running through that line of questioning, he goes, "But why would you weep over Mary?" Which I was like, "We don't weep. I don't know what you're talking about." But then he goes, "Why would you weep over Mary when Jesus had resurrected?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but we relive every year in the liturgical cycle the entire life of Christ." And he was like, "But Jesus," he goes, "But Jesus is resurrected." So it's like what I said didn't even register. So,
yeah, because obviously, like any Protestant of any type is not going to have any concept of a liturgical year.
Yeah, but I explained it like 3 times. I'm like, no. What I'm saying is the readings throughout the church year represent the entire life and ministry of Christ, and he could not get that. Like that, he just didn't understand what I was saying.
He just gave you another version of what that is.
Yeah, he said, "Well, why would you do that if Jesus had resurrected? Is he dead right now?" And I said, "No, he's not dead right now, but we relive the life cycle in the year." And he's like, "But he not dead right now." So it just it wasn't gonna go any further than that, I realized. So anyway, it was he's funny, right? And he's obviously heterodox, but he's a character. And he's actually pretty funny too, which it just made for a wild discussion. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, we got into white people, we got into slavery, we got into Orthodoxy, Catholicism, Trump. I mean, he asked me about everything. Yeah, but he does the same kind of thing with everybody, right? Like if you've watched the episode that was really funny of the Sam Hyde show. I had not seen this one, by the way. I forgot to watch this one. I can't remember if I wrote on this one or not. I may not have. But when he had JLP on Sam Hyde, this episode is absolutely hilarious. I mean, I was dying laughing at the interaction between these two. If you've not seen this and you're looking for some really funny interactions, I highly recommend it because, so Jesse Lee, I don't know if he changes his theology, like when like the next year it'll be something different, because in this discussion, he seems to have come to some sort of Vedanta style conclusion that you've actually never sinned in your life because reality is all predestined. And because reality is predestined, it's an illusion. And because it's an illusion, then you can't actually sin. He actually argues this to Sam Hyde. I'm like, what? What the heck kind of crazy nonsense is this? Where did he get that? But here, let me give you guys the link to the Sam Hyde episode. And let me let you get a little taste of this.
The plantation was slavery. I got paid. Then when people work for me, it's the same thing, right?
I've kind of lost track of where we are logically here.
Picking cotton.
Picking cotton. That's what we gonna do, Jesse Lee.
All right, so the debate begins on whether or not working for Jesse Lee Peterson is the same thing as being a slave. And Sam Hyde's like, no, it's not, because you're paying people. And he's like, there ain't no different. It's the same thing.
6 a.m., between 6 and 7. And he would I would have to get up early in the morning, go to the barn, and I don't care. You're out of here. And so when I turned 18.
Is that good?
I left, yeah. Because
all right, I'm not going to be able to find it, but I highly recommend just watching the whole episode. It gets really funny, and Jesse just says just crazy shit, like just all over the place. Like what? Ortho Slow Boy, what's up, man? Unmute.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Questions was
Indeed he is. What's up, dog?
What's up? I got some good news. I'm going to be received into the church soon.
Oh, cool.
And I'm wondering, should I seek to be baptized, or is chrismation fine? Because, I was already baptized Lutheran as a baby, so I'm not sure if I need to.
I would take that up with your priest, bishop, and spiritual father, because the church typically makes that decision on the basis of the case at hand. And I don't have access to that, so I can't give you that advice. Tay, what's up? TAE. Tengu says for $10, the Jesse Lee Peterson episode of Sam Hyde is right up there with the TED Talk that Sam Hyde did and the Dear Elon for me. Yeah, that was really funny. Like I thought, how in the world would this interaction go down? I was a little nervous that it would be just too weird. But I mean, it was just like comedy gold, dude. I think, and I'm not trying to brag, I'm not saying like my stuff is as funny as Sam, but I think my episode of Jesse Lee Peterson will be that level of like just insanity. Tay, what's up? All right. Patrick, what's up? MKG says, the clip where Sam goes full black scent on JLP killed me. Well, wait till you see me talking like Jesse Lee Peterson to Jesse Lee Peterson. That's going to be a lot of fun. Patrick, you want to unmute?
Hey, hello, what's up, man? I have 2 questions for you. Just a little background. I'm Orthodox Christian too. Maybe you wonder the accent. I'm German.
Okay.
I'm Orthodox. The first question is, and excuse me, I'm late. It's late. It's like 2 a.m. here. The first question is, if God is the source of all in terms of morality and law, how do you argue against an atheist that our source, in this case God, is more valid than their lens that they see through to the world?
Well, that's why I do the transcendental argument. So look up a lot of the podcasts and the videos that we've done over the last several years that present the transcendental argument. So that's kind of a long, that's a question that requires a longer answer, but that's the methodology that I think is the best apologetic. Hinnon, what's up? By the way, there is a new Sam Shamoon video game that's out if you guys haven't seen it. And we made mention of this many months ago when we first coded this together with Rockstar Games. We put together this, it's called the Sam Shamoon apartment simulator game. And the goal is to kill all the feral cats in the apartment. And you have to find the key to get out of the apartment, because the air is getting more and more toxic with Toxoplasma gondii. And so you got to find the key that's hidden in one of the disgusting cereal boxes. And here's a little teaser for the game.
That's thicker than the desert wind. That's thicker than the desert wind, and still no key. Gah, son of the devil, back to the litter box with you. Another one? These demons breed in the dark. Wait, there you are.
One more time for you guys.
Thicker than the desert wind. Thicker than the desert wind, and still no key. Gah, son of the devil, back to the litter box with you. Another one? These demons breed in the dark. Wait, there you are. Thicker than the desert wind.
Muta with the kiddies tonight. Hannon, what's up? I'm mute.
How's it going, Jay?
What's up, dog?
Yeah, I just had a question on. I know you talk a lot about the geopolitics of the papacy and a lot with this new Islam stuff. I wanted to ask you a question. I don't know if you necessarily have an answer to this because it's probably a different view, but like all those Muslim imams that meet with the Pope, and we always talk about how the Pope, is meeting with these imams and making deals with it. How does the Muslim side view this? Are these Muslim imams compromised? Are they, how is this related?
That's a really good question. Islam is so fragmented and full of sects, kind of like Protestantism, that probably it would depend upon which Muslim you're talking to. I know that when Jake and Daniel Hakikachu had their big falling out, it was partly to deal with this kind of stuff, like which of the imams or the Muslim schools or whoever was compromised working with the West. I mean, so it's anywhere and everything all over the place. Great question, but I don't have a simple answer because it's all over. Go ahead, John.
A lot of imams are British intelligence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, which was another funny thing that is like when Trump is getting mad at the Pope, it's basically like he's saying like, hey, the CIA usually controls the Pope, not the European globalists. What's going on?
Exactly. And also notice how sort of low tier all of this is in regard to reality, where you have Trump over here acting like Muslims are a problem and that they are the enemy, when the very groups that do the dirty work typically for Israel are the ISIS, Al-Qaeda types that are the proxies of the CIA and the Mossad, on record admitted now. Look up Operation Timber Sycamore, where you had the CIA putting about $1 billion into overthrowing Assad and putting the radical Jolani in who fought with ISIS. So that layer is always left out of this conversation, and it's like, does Leo understand that the Muslims, many of them are actually proxies of the West and the CIA on record for many decades? Does he even know that? Maybe, I don't know. But how absurd it is too, as we said, when there's Christian persecution in Sudan and Nigeria right now, for Leo to come out and stress the alliance with Islam. And like I said earlier today, I really like Tucker a lot and respect Tucker a lot for what he's been doing, but I also vehemently disagree with his more recent position of thinking that maybe we need to make an alliance with Islam because they're nicer on Jesus. Totally disagree with that point. But yes, people are asking, play the Sam Shamoon apartment simulator one more time.
Thicker than the desert wind. Thicker than the desert wind, and still no key. Gah, son of the devil, back to the litter box with you. Another one? These demons breed in the dark. Wait, there you are.
Our buddy Ozzy made a competitor game. There's a competitor company, if you guys didn't notice, that's making Scam Shamu simulators as well. Let me see if I can find that one. I know I shared it. Let's see, where is it? Oh, here's the PlayStation. So we have a Xbox only version. Here's the PlayStation version. You see Sam here in his whitey tighties. This is it's a little bit of a buffer version of Sam that I think's physiognomically accurate. I'm pretty sure he's not buff at all, at least physically speaking, in terms of that body style. You guys can correct me if you have happened to see his full body, because it's usually covered up with a giant Bruce Lee t-shirt that's literally the size of a muumuu, so that we don't see his gigantic gut and man boobs. But here's the competitor's version over at PlayStation.
I'm the guy who tries to be loyal.
These are the orbs. So sometimes you got to fight evil orbs in the apartment, and then sometimes you got to fight good orbs. How do we know? Well, that's part of the game. I can't give that away. Maybe Nintendo Magazine will give you the cheat codes, but you got to figure out which orbs are good or evil.
I'm the guy who tries to be loyal, queerbait. Lead us not in temptation, but those forms of gay liar, queerbait, because you're.
So here in the game, you can see the good orbs are guiding you out of the apartment, and then you have the cats attacking.
Demons. The loyal and faithful I am. Gay liar, gay liar, gay liar. You scum, queerbait, queerbait, queerbait.
This is one of the bosses, which is the entire gaggle of the cat gang that you have to fight in the first level. So there is the Scam Shamu apartment simulator, if you guys missed that one. And then I wanted to play just a little bit of this because it's a classic and we all love it. And since he's going crazy, I want to remind him that we dedicated an entire song to him.
Scam Shamu. That's actually a good word, though. Would you dance with Sam Shamu on the dance floor? Sam Shamu, he's at the dance club. He's single. He's got a little bit of dust on his shoulder, cause he didn't clean up his nasty ass cat apartment. Sam Shamoon is on the dance floor. Ladies, orbs, all are welcome. Please dance with Shamoon. I've got moves. Sam Shamoon, Sam Shamoon, Sam Shamoon. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Muta with the Shia tonight. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. I see a lot of orbs lonely tonight. Big shapely orbs, come and dance with Sam. He's single on town. Your mom's doing Muta with the Shia. He's got man boobs, he can relate to you. Sam Shamoon's on the dance floor. All you orbs on the floor tonight. Tonight's night. Every orb on the dance floor. Dance with Sam Shamoon. Muta with the Shia tonight. Every orb on the dance floor. Dance with Sam Shamoon. Muta with the Shia tonight. Do the Sam Shuffle. Sam Shuffle tonight. Muta with Sam tonight. It's Muta on the dance floor. Muta on the dance floor. You son of the devil. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Muta with the Shia tonight. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Muta with the Shia tonight. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Muta with the Shia. Muta with the Shia. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Muta with the Shia tonight.
And I hope you guys like that classic, that banger. We also have some good Trent Horn music that's coming up in the future. And I'm told that Dr. Evo and Ozzy might be working on something a little Harriet Tubman themed in regard to our debate with your boy Captain Crack Rock over there. All right, who's next? We got Delson. What's up? Delson Plus? Isn't that some kind of like boomer dandruff shampoo? What's up, Delson? Unmute, dog. Come on, boomer. Unmute. All right. I ain't gonna debate with no dandruff shampoo anyway. EK, what's up? Isn't that a dandruff shampoo? Guys, if you want to play the Scam Shamoon apartment cat battle simulator, there you go. EK, unmute.
Hey man, I just quote tweeted you something that the I guess the Pope said, something from like AF Post, like saying warns against blending Catholicism and non-Catholic religions. But I feel like the title's a little misleading if you want to check it out.
Is this the supposed like he's supposed to be citing a verse and then he like misquotes it as if the verse says not to attack religions or something? Is that what this is?
No, I don't think it's that. It's like
Okay.
a 20-second clip.
All right, let me
He's,
play
like,
it.
giving a big speech in front of a crowd. I don't know if it's like recent, but it was just posted an hour ago.
All right, let me play it.
It also calls us to be vigilant, even regarding our own religious practices, so as not to fall into the trap of mixing the Catholic faith with other beliefs and traditions of an esoteric or Gnostic nature.
Well, then that just shows he's even more culpable, and he's not a material heretic like these goobers always try to say, because he explicitly knows that you can't do that. So he's just condemning himself when he does it all the time. So,
Yeah, man, I'm just getting massive whiplash, man. Every day it's something different, it seems like.
so here's what I was referring to. This is all over the media today, and it says the Pope is delivering a homily, blending scripture with commentary. This misleadingly presents the quote as if it's a single sentence. So here is what was going around today.
But woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, or political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth. Yes, my dear sisters and brothers, you who hunger and thirst for justice, who are poor, merciful, meek, and pure of heart, you who have wept, you are the light of the world.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, I don't know that he was intentionally trying to give the impression that, I think he was just commenting on it. That one's kind of a weak sauce one. I mean, just to be fair to what looks like what was happening. However, did you guys see Hegseth? Or no, was it Hegseth or Homan? Somebody was out here quoting Pulp Fiction.
Hegseth.
Let's see if we can find that one. That sounds funny. All right, here is this. Let's see how this one goes.
Sort of fits this occasion. The law the weak, keeper, and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. Destroy.
All right, I don't want to ding the algorithm, but he is doing that. So, I mean, perhaps some speech writer wrote this. I don't know. I mean, maybe Pete Hegseth writes his own speeches. But either way, this is like tard level stuff, dude. I thought everybody knew that's partly from Ezekiel and then other texts. So let me see. Here it is right here.
The path of the downed aviator.
No, every one of these clips has the frickin' Pulp Fiction part with it. So that one is pretty silly. I think it shows you that, I mean, these people are probably cynical and just using religion as sort of a cloak. Now, I just saw this. Did Father Josiah just go on Tucker, or had he been on Tucker in the past and people are clipping this?
He was on yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so we'll probably play a couple of these clips because I just noticed this. I didn't know he was on this, that this is a recent episode. Let's see. Adam, what's up, man? By the way, I keep asking and trying to get Owen Schroyer to come talk because he put up a meme of himself as a Templar. So he's apparently trying to get in with the trad cats. Maybe he really believes trad Catholicism. I don't know. But he's going to have a discussion with Andrew. He is, of course, curiously ignoring all of my comments and requests to have a friendly conversation. Adam, what's up?
You guys are mean.
But I've always had good interactions with Owen Schroyer. So there's no reason for him to say I'm mean. I've never been mean to him. I've been on his show probably 4 times, but 3. But we had great conversations. So we lost you, Adam. You dropped off. Stu, what's up?
But Trent says you're mean, so maybe it's affecting a lot of people.
Yeah, but Trent Horn isn't a trad cat. So if Owen wants to present himself as a trad cat, go ahead, Stu.
Hey Jay, you got me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need the link to pre-order those Sham Shamoon games, man. Those are looking pretty good.
Yeah, they'll be out on PlayStation 2.
Excellent. I just kind of wanted to go back to like all the Trent Horn, Ruslan stuff, if you don't mind.
Actually, that's where I was going next before we get to Father Josiah on Tucker.
Gotcha. I wanted to get your insight because you've been in the apologetics game for a lot longer than me. When I was a Protestant, I got a lot into it, obviously, before becoming Orthodox. And I'm just, correct me if I'm wrong, but this new like era of apologetics. I mean, you have like Trent Horn, you have all these guys on the Catholic side or Protestant side, like Gavin Ortman's, what have you. Like, I remember watching old tapes of even like William Lane Craig, and like he would chase debates. And now it's like you can be a Christian apologist and just not debate. Mm-hmm. To me, that just doesn't compute. And the other whole like playing sides aspect to where like they'll condemn you, they'll condemn an Andrew Wilson, they'll condemn whoever else for saying naughty words, but Trent Doherty goes off on Cleve and then all is forgiven, just a little slap on the wrist, and now he's on Matt Fradd show. I don't get it. What am I missing here?
Yeah, it's very simple. Bless God Industries that Ruslan runs would hurt big time were they to really platform and really allow significant discussion on orthodoxy. Now, Ruslan is correct that he doesn't oppose Orthodox people coming on. I think he's had Father Josiah on, he's had Pajot on, he's had me on. And, he allowed me to say whatever. We had a 4-hour podcast, that was chopped up into a lot of different segments and clips. And I think he made, though, if I recall, I don't remember exactly, but the justification debate portion is, I think, behind a paywall. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's public. I don't know. But first, you are correct that the standards are inconsistently applied, right? Trent Horn has no problem going on stage and being platformed with Destiny, who calls for the unaliving of conservatives and has done that for a long time. In fact, that goes back 10 years ago where Destiny was deplatformed for calls for violence, as well as numerous sexual scandals. And that Trent Horn has no problem platforming together with even on whatever podcast to debate Destiny. But so you notice that Trent's excuse is absolutely a ploy and it's absolutely hollow. And because I said a 4-letter word at one point, that's essentially why I said these things to him, is I lost all respect for Trent. When did this happen? Well, I saw all the stuff about him, and his wife sort of insulting him and demeaning him in various ways, which I know they tried to walk that back. I still think it was, insulting to Trent. The way that he, dressed up as a baby and she kind of admits that she started having a potential crush on a coworker. I think all of that is humiliating. However, Trent's response was to defend a version of Christian feminism when he debated Tim Gordon, and then to have this bizarre double standard about who he will and won't associate with, and then make multiple videos about. Now, all of this I tolerate. I don't think it's a big deal, right? The thing that really bothered me, why I got mad at him, was his downplaying of Epstein and the inconsistent position of not admitting what was a lot more of Epstein's relationship to the Vatican and to John Paul II. He covered that up and acted like there was only one email with any loose association, which is not true. There were multiple emails that make a bigger association, including the information related to Jimmy Savile, who was knighted by John Paul II. Trent ignored all of that, covered all that up, and will make videos about 4-letter words, but he doesn't consider the stuff that Jeff Simon McEffrey and the PDF crisis in the Roman Church, none of those things.
He did a video on that, right?
Yeah. The first 3 minutes, he spent 2 minutes, 2 minutes on Epstein and basically says, there's nothing here.
Jeez. Yeah.
So that's what made me mad. And that's why I said, dude, you pissed me off. F you.
Yeah. Cause that's, I mean, and the other thing too, is like, I watched, his little hit pieces and whatnot, and it doesn't make sense to me, again, going back to the inconsistency. Like, I know in my life, I've said a lot worse things to people. And I've gone over it. Other people have gone over it. Like, it's just words, but you can't get mad and refuse to debate and do this and that when Jay Dyer does it. But Sam Shamoon is over here saying,
Trent. Hold on, Trent.
There's a whore, stuff like that.
Well, Trent Horn doesn't like Sam Shamoon, and he went after Sam Shamoon. But here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
So Trent did go after Trent Doherty. He went after Sam Shamoon, Nick Fuentes, me, Andrew, Tim Gordon, and the point there though is that, as Tim Gordon said, the people that Trent picks to apply this to just also happen to be people that might cause him a problem in a debate. Now, not Trent Doherty, but it's an excuse to not actually have a debate with me or Andrew or anyone else, because it would undermine the good thing that they have going. So again,
and he's the same way with Tim Gordon, correct?
That's what Tim was saying. Tim said to me, he's essentially avoiding anyone that would be a problem or that he lost to in the past. So he has a passive aggressive vendetta. And everybody, I think the majority of people think very clearly that due to his multiple fumbles in our debate, Trent lost the natural theology debate. And so ever since then, he's had an issue with me, and he declined 3 times my offer to debate the papacy from the historical geopolitical perspective, which he says that's too conspiratorial and stupid and tinfoil hat. I won't engage in that. And then he turns around and says, that's not my academic qualification. I'm not going to debate an academic arena that I'm not trained in. Well, now, which one is it, Trent? Is it too low tier and tinfoil hat, Jack Chick level stuff? Or is it because you don't have the academic credentials to debate the geopolitical relationship of the papacy? Those are mutually exclusive excuses. So you notice that he's just simply putting out and saying whatever allows him to save face.
And I noticed it's starting to kind of creep out to, because I saw on Twitter, I'm not, what's his name? His name's Cameron, and he was Protestant, but he became Catholic.
You mean Cucking Christianity with Cameron Bertuzzi?
Yeah, there you go. Like with you remember the Cleve and the Trent Doherty exchange?
Yeah, Cameron is still over there trying to figure out how Muslims and Christians have the same God.
He was cracking down on Cleve.
Of course.
What are we doing? Like it literally seems like a picking a side thing.
Of course.
I watched that debate. I watched that whole thing.
You're talking about Cleve. You're talking about Cleve versus Trent Doherty.
Yeah, when he was there with the Gaytheist.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that. And they were going back and forth and whatnot, and then Trent Doherty did his whole crash out, and then now the Cameron dude is talking to Cleve on Twitter, condemning him, saying that he was essentially instigating. He wasn't. I mean, I don't understand why there's this, like, the guys on my team are okay, and I'm going to defend anything they say, and everything's going to be good. I mean,
well, I can understand it. Again, I can understand it. But
you know what's funny, Jay? I just thought of this is in the second Captain Tesseract debate, there was a hilarious part where he was like trying to tell you, he's like, I've been debating for a long time. I don't know what y'all been doing, right? He said something like that.
And he didn't know what the word fallacy meant?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That was pretty wild. Yeah. So to answer, go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say that even someone like myself, I've been watching debates for many years. I probably could be a okay debater, but if you're not ready and you're not familiar with a lot of the arguments, you shouldn't be a debater, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the debate sphere and sphere, not spear, but even someone like Trent, when you debated him, he wasn't even familiar with the arguments.
Right.
So even someone who's considered a high tier debater.
No, he's actually low tier.
Yeah, like there and I think a lot of the people who are in this sphere, they will cover for each other because there is, like so. To give an example, someone like yourself, you go and research the other person's view, and we've had private chats about this before. Most people don't even do that. Like, they don't even know what the other person thinks when they go into a debate. And so most people are used to that. And then when you or anybody in the sphere comes in and does debates, it sounds like you're mean because you know more than the other person that you're actually debating about their own arguments.
Yeah, and how to do debates, right? So I appreciate that. Yeah, I think you're right on. It's like that guy today is like, you waste all your time debating. I don't waste all my time debating. I've been debating for 20, 25, 26 years. It's not a waste of time. It's very important, and educated people used to understand the importance of public debate. So yeah, absolutely, John. A lot of things going on here now with Ruslan. The drama yesterday was over this three-way setting with the catechumen guy. And if you guys didn't see, Alex Soren had the Orthodox guy on last night, and they had a discussion. And it sounds like Ruslan's story isn't exactly true, isn't exactly accurate. Ruslan claims it was just a on-the-spot thing that he just kind of came up with. But the problem is that we have Gavin Ortland saying right here, I've done many debates with Orthodox, but I will not do them anymore unless they have theological credentials or ministerial credentials. Now, I have technically some credentials, so I don't know if I meet his credential list here. But of course, he always uses the excuse that I'm too toxic and too mean. And by the way, people correct me on this, wasn't Ortland, I could be wrong, but if I remember him a few years ago being a huge proponent of open borders and that a Christian has to be accepting migrants. Does he still hold this position? Am I correct? Because that would mean to me that he's basically just a shit lib and cover. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I could be wrong. But now, if he has this high standard, then why is he having this exchange with a catechumen? Not saying the catechumen did bad. That's irrelevant to what looks like a setup, right? That's the point. And that's what people were saying to Ruslan. Ruslan's saying, well, I changed the title of it from debate to chat or discussion. Yeah, but you did that because of pushback, dude. I doubt you would have changed it. And he blamed on his team. Oh, my team mistitled it. I mean, maybe that's all true, but none of that actually addresses the central point, which is, first of all, he says, what's happening, right? You know that people won't interact with Jay because what? I mean, like, he can't just say what because they think I'm mean. Now, the reality is that they don't want to have a debate because they would not do well in the debate. This is all ploy. It's all excuse. And I think people are beginning to catch on because, I mean, tons of, I would say the majority, 90% of the comments underneath the Ruslan excuses were against Ruslan. And Ruslan messaged me, your audience is insufferable. I know you sent those people to come after me. Don't get paranoid, dude. Nobody sent anybody to come attack you or come after you. You made your own mistake here that you then blamed on your team, which maybe his team made the mistake. I don't know. Maybe they weren't supposed to put debate in the title. Again, we don't know, right? So regardless, it just doesn't look like you guys actually want to have good faith discussions. It looks like you want to protect the brand. You don't want debates that would damage the audience. You don't want people converting to orthodoxy. So you need to keep it ecumenist. You need to keep it safe. You need to keep it to where, we don't have bless God industries going bankrupt, right? That's what it seems like is really going on here. And then he says, Jay, you know why people don't want to interact with you and they can't sit down with you. Well, Ruslan, didn't we have a perfectly charitable civil conversation for 4 hours? You had no problem afterwards with me in that interaction. We had a great time. We went out to dinner. You had no problems. And yet suddenly I'm in the wrong because I crashed out on Trent Horn for no reason, he says. It wasn't for no reason. Even if you think I'm wrong, I didn't crash out on Trent Horn for no reason. Trent Horn has made successive videos against us unprovoked. Nobody provoked Trent Horn to start making all those videos that we're bad people because of 4-letter words. If anything, the only provocation was my 3 offers, and it might even be 4, to Trent Horn to do another debate, which he in succession keeps declining. And he still triples down and does not correct himself on the fact that he says the word triad is an inherently Aryan or semi-Aryan term, when his own Eastern liturgy uses that term. Is so stupid. So Trent has a narcissistic problem of being unable to admit even the slightest mistake. He's never admitted any mistake at all. Not a slightest, as far as I'm aware. Maybe he has and I just haven't seen it. But what's happening here is all of this is just gay deflection from not having a public formal debate. And all the people who act like I can't do debates and I just yell and scream, that's totally, everybody knows that's totally not true. There's probably 30 formal debates where there's no screaming and crying and Trent Doherty screams and loses on a debate. There's me getting aggressive, but where did I ever totally melt down and just blow up in a debate? A formal debate. And the interaction with Ibarra was not a formal debate. That was an open back and forth on the reason and theology thing years ago. Ever since that time, they've used this 10-year excuse that Jay Dyer is mean. And you've all seen me on countless formal debates with Muslims, atheists, Protestants, Roman Catholics, formal debates where there's no meanness. That's all fake and gay. It's all made up. Now, they can say, I don't like you, I don't like your personality. Okay, but that has nothing to do with whether or not I know how to do a formal debate and abide by the rules. I don't care about last night, the debate with Captain Crackrock. It was formal, but I did that as a joke. For me, that's a joke debate. Okay, the whatever debate with what's-her-face feminist, that's a joke debate. Even though it was kind of formal, semi-formal, more of a blood sports perhaps. But you'll notice when I debated Tim Gordon on Elijah Schaffer's show, that was pretty much formal. It was heated, but there was no disobeying the rules. Okay. If we go to the Tim Cast debate, that was Bloodsport debate on Tim Cast. That was open, go crazy, get heated. Guess what? Shows want that for clicks. Okay. So the reason people do the Bloodsports debate is that they're popular. People like to watch that. It's entertaining. But I can also do, and have done for 10 years, countless formal debates. It's just all made up nonsense. Joke debates are entertaining. They're fun. And these people are acting like freaking toddlers. They're acting like teenage girls who just lose their shit over some guy talking smack. Who cares if a dude talks smack? Did no one play basketball in high school and talk smack to their buddies? Like what gay world are you guys living in? To turn the slightest joke into some huge drama of it. Just do the freaking debates, you guys. Stop being pussies. You're giant pussies. Trent Horn, you're a pussy. Just do a debate. By the way, did we have a problem in the previous debate? No, we had a perfectly civil, formal debate, me and Trent Horn. There were no problems. And in fact, after that debate, everyone recognized and admitted, hey, turns out Jay can actually do a formal debate. And he obeys the rules, and there was no problems. The problem came when Trent Horn tripled down first on saying that the word triad is an Aryan term. Total bullcrap. And he still, to this day, can't admit he's wrong about that. The next phase of the problem came when Trent Horn would not agree to any second debate on the geopolitics of the papacy. And then the problem was he gave 2 conflicting excuses as to why he wouldn't do it. On the one hand, it's tinfoil hat crazy to say that the Pope is a globalist. That's what he said. You understand Trent's a total normie, right? The papacy is not at all involved in international World Economic Forum, UNESCO geopolitics, according to him, right? And he's quadrupled down on that stupid position. Then the next phase of the problem came when I reiterated this debate, right? He had conflicting excuses. I offered it again a year later. And so he's very bothered by people who beat him in a debate and then who offer another debate and keep pressing him on that. That's what made Trent so passive aggressive and so resentful. And who gets resentful over this kind of stuff other than somebody who's effeminate? So these guys are actually just pussies. And if you doubt me on that, please somebody figure out if I'm correct that Gavin Ortland was a massive open border supporter. I want to say I remember around 2019, 20, somewhere back in there, he got a lot of flack for pushing some sort of soft leftist position on open borders. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is that would suggest to me the type of person that he is, right? And this has all been cast now as, oh, it's all about this person's character and their personal, do they use 4-letter words? Do they smoke a cigarette on screen? It's just ridiculous. Like, this stuff is so just freaking gay, dude. And it makes me understand why people don't want to interact with these people. Like, if I was not a Christian and I saw this kind of stuff, like so Epstein doesn't matter, but 4-letter words do. This is like Vonnegut level hypocrisy, right? Remember when I think it was Vonnegut, said that he realized how hypocritical people's morals were when they got more upset about a 4-letter word on a bomb and using a cuss word versus bombing 1 million people, right? The 4-letter word is more important than the bombing of 1 million people morally. This is how retarded stuff is, right? And didn't Jesus say something about that with Pharisees? You strain at gnats and you swallow camels. So you obsess over the minor things, but you make a huge deal, but you ignore and look over the major things. Even Gerald from Crowder piped up and interjected here and said, I think Gavin Ortland does need to debate Jay Dyer. Of course, we all know Gavin Ortland would absolutely never debate me. He will never do it. And it's because he's actually just a giant vagina. And all of these guys are vaginas. I'm just going to tell you how it is. And I don't care if you don't like me over that, because that's true. Because I'm not scared of any of these people. And I think you guys know that, right? You can hate me for that, but I'm being honest with you. I'm not scared to debate any of them. I already debated Trent Horn. Why would I be scared to debate him again? I tried to set up debates with a lot of these people years ago, and I saw right away they were never going to do it. So it doesn't matter whether it's Sham Shamoon or whether it's Gavin Ortland. None of these people are actually going to do a serious formal debate on a serious topic, because it would hurt the brand and it would make them look bad. And they're scared. They don't want to lose. They're more worried about the brand and their persona than they are what's true. And that's my message to Ruslan, who I do like, and we've had good interactions in the past. Ruslan, what's more important? Bless God Industries or what's true? You think about that. So even Gerald, who's a Protestant, says this needs to be hosted. It needs to happen. All the people in the comments are saying, Ortland will never do it. He's just going to say that Dyer is beneath him. Yeah, even though all these people call for this debate. And by the way, if I'm beneath you, it should be easy work. It should be piece of cake. Should be super simple. We can have a formal setting where I would even do this for you guys, because you guys are so effeminate. I know you're scared of cross-examinations. You're so terrified of a guy cross-examining your position. How about this? We don't even have to have cross-examinations. Since you guys are such giant vaginas, I will give you no cross-exams. And I even am offering to debate Ruslan and Gavin Ortland together, and Trent Horn, all three of us. We can make it as long as you guys want. I'll do it for 5 or 6 hours with you guys. You can set it up however you want with no cross exams, because you're so terrified of a cross exam. By the way, atheists and Muslims are not terrified of cross examinations. Have you noticed that? They may be dumb as hell and they don't know how a cross exam works, but they're not scared to do it. Although Jake was for many years, because he wouldn't do a debate unless there was no cross exams or it was qualified to not be interrogation. So at least Jake has the balls to do a debate with cross exams. At least Dr. Shabir Ali has that. At least Matt Dillahunty has the ball. You guys don't even have the balls of Matt Dillahunty, Shabir Ali, and Jake, the Muslim metaphysician. You guys are pathetic, man. And thank God, after 10 years of this stupid excuse, people are seeing through it. Because all the comments and the replies are like, dude, nobody's buying this mean claim when you freaking go on debate platforms with absolutely disgusting degenerates like Destiny. So what is it? And by the way, wouldn't these debates get massive traction and money? So it's not a money issue. You know you're going to make money. Ruslan, I know Blessed God Industries is all about that cheddar. Wouldn't you make a lot of money if you did dude, just think of the super chats. If you live stream the debate with me and them, how much money would you make on super chats? You'd make $5,000, $10,000 easy in one night. Think about how many wigger sandals you could buy with that, Ruslan. You could be wigged out all week, bro. Hey, dog, I'm talking about 20 pairs of Jordans for my Armenian wigger over there in San Diego. And if you don't like this joke, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if you don't like this joke. Oh, look, man, what could he say the bad word? Oh, but Destiny's okay because he calls for the unalive. You guys have just ridiculous morals. All right, guys, let's get to the super chats. We got a lot of super chats here. CK, what's up, man?
What up, Jay? You taking questions yet?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, you definitely hit the nail on the head with what you were just saying. I feel like Ruslan always rubbed me the wrong way. What's funny?
Rub you the right way. I'm gonna rub you the right way.
One of the first videos I saw was when you were on there, and I think, and you were definitely right, it was actually behind a paywall. It was, majority of it was, because I was like, who is this guy? I was like, I'm gonna pay and see the rest of it. So I think, yeah, I mean, he's definitely all about his cheddar. He's all about that check. We already know that. But also, it's like, yeah, they'd get a lot of super chats if they did that, but you got to think about the long-term ROI. It's going to go down. And I think deep down, Ruslan, and you know, that whole posse knows that.
Well, listen, go ahead and go get my special Wigzantium Air Jordans. When I'm the Emperor of Wigzantium, which we know that crowning will happen probably next year, I'm going to run a special line of Blessed God Air Jordans, and y'all can all get a pair. Get you a pair of Air Jordans to wear with your jorts in Wigzantium. Giorgio, the world's elite are both ecumenist and New Age. Do you think that these competing doctrines make up the same group or competing entities of the elite? No, I think they work well together. The two go very well together. They're all on the same team at the top. Emperor, $7. Ruslan be like, bless God, everybody. Today we have a debate between the Pope, representing the Catholics, Martin Luther, representing the Protestants, and John Pork, representing Orthodox. John Rock, $2. 2026 dime mean eagle only arrows. Okay, I don't know what that means. Rob, $3. Speak a little more on the issue of the Russian Antiochian churches. Christ is risen. Indeed he is. I don't know much about the specifics of that relationship, but I think at the international patriarchal level they have a very good relationship. Kayla, $5. I listened to Ruslan and his Oriental. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this complaint. Ruslan had an Oriental dude on, and Ruslan did it like it was just Orthodoxy, right? Now, that Oriental dude is not Orthodox. And so I also have a qualm with Ruslan over titling it as if he's just every other Orthodox dude, which is, again, a little dishonest. The Oriental guy talked about the schism. I was confused. Could you break it down? Yeah, maybe we could do a response to that, whatever that is. Although Ruslan might be mad at me. I might have strike down the clips or something. I don't know. Iconomat, $5. Jay, You're not in the cool circle of Christian apologists. Well, it's like Andrew says, it's the sewing circle, butt buddy club. I don't want to be in it. They're a bunch of gatekeepers. Probably. Anonymous, $50. What's up, Anonymous? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Anonymous giving $50. I'm just happy to see so many people not buying into this anymore. I mean, just the comments underneath it, it's like nobody's buying this. Like, oh, we're so much, we're just gonna take the high road here. Niched says for $1 is Russia third Rome. I mean, maybe in some historical sense. I don't attach necessarily a huge theological, eschatological perspective there. JV says that PDB guy's a midwit and he's an embarrassment to Greek Orthodox. Jay is one of the few public figures who has the correct take on opposing Islam and Judaism and Zionism. You should unblock me. I'll have to find your profile. ProZilch, $5. These people protect their ego over the salvation. Or, I mean, it might be ego or it might be, you know, the money, monetary income. Again, Westhoff said many times over, he will not do any more debates. So Westhoff made his public media audience grow literally just from debating the lowest tier idiot on the internet, Billy Corson. And what obvious low hanging fruit to only debate that guy and then to say, I'm not going to debate anyone else ever. Alexander, $10. I like the idea of a Ruslan only debate. I mean, I like the idea of why don't they all just simply put an end to my bad arguments? If I'm in the wrong in terms of the positions, it should be very easy for them to refute it. It would be great to see him crash out, like he says that you're always crashing out. NP says, frankly, everybody is sick of all this fake ass piety sealing. Good, thank God, because I've been sick of it for 10 years. Broccoli, $5. I may not know what fallacy is, but this white boy gonna give me more of them soliloquies. Exactly. Shane says he was baptized in the Orthodox Church on Holy Saturday. Awesome. Emperor says, no, we did that. Trying to get through these super chats. B. Rizzle says, I can't start the stream from the beginning. That might be because I'm using Restream now. I don't know if that affects that. Aristotle says, I can't wait for the JLP podcast tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to have a blast watching that. P. Brown says, for $10. At this rate, the Pope will recite the Shahada in 2027. Well, he pretty much already does. Chad says, people of the chocolate persuasion. Yes. Philip says, do you think Tucker's an agent? Again, if he's got false positions, it doesn't necessarily mean he's an agent. So I think that we need stronger evidence when we start accusing people. Just everybody says, oh, you're an agent. Everybody, I'm an agent. Everyone's an agent. You got to have good proof of that. You can't just throw around, just like with the PDF stuff. You can't just throw it around because of loose associations or bad positions. Dragod, do you think that fake piety signaling comes out of Puritanism? I mean, it comes out of evangelicalism. Yeah, ultimately, this whole ethos is a Protestant evangelical performative ethos. Absolutely. You and others brought me out of nihilism. Thank you. He says thank you. Appreciate that, man. Good to hear. God bless. Gabriel says, I listened to your Dune analyses. You mentioned the prediction of a one world religion. It feels very relevant to ecumenism. No, that's what I mean. In the novels, he's not exposing it. He's just kind of saying what will come. So in Dune, it is kind of a one world religion where you have Islam and Catholicism mixed into, I don't know, whatever religion you call it in Dune, the Kwisatz Haderach. But I thought my Dune 3 analysis would be really relevant to, what's happening. If you didn't see the 4th Hour, Lord Voldemort, go watch that. Andrew says for $5, you can go to Ortland's website and see in the COVID times that he was saying that the churches need to abide by all the restrictions. So he was a COVID cucked man. That tells you everything you need to know about Gavin Ortland. Absolutely. There you go. Coof cucked. We was Kangs. What's up? Thank you so much. What happened to Aquantafana? I don't know what you're talking about. Popper says for $5. Who's the most challenging debate you ever did? I mean, doing public debates in the last 10 years or so, I can't think of anybody that really presented a significant problem or challenge. I'm not being arrogant, I'm just being honest. But I would say that certain debates required a lot more research. So debating the Muslims, because I wasn't familiar with Islam, typically required way more research than the other debates. Because you have to learn their specific, school and fiqh and all this stuff. Thank you, Popper. Appreciate that. Guys, I got another stream I got to go do. So if I missed any super chats, I'll get them on the next stream. Sente says for $5, in your Zoomer history debate, Zoomer history debate. You're talking about Redeem Zoomer? You talking about, yeah, you're calling him Zoomer historian. You mean Redeem Zoomer. You guys talked about original sin. You said that the child is not at fault for Adam's sin. Redeem Zoomer said the person can be born then who did not sin, which you disagree with, right? What if the child comes of age and does not sin? Well, there's a difference between the deprivation of grace, which is the state that we're born into, and what we call actual sin, right? And even Roman Catholicism has this distinction between original and actual sin. So being born as a son of Adam, you are deprived of theosis and the life of grace. And so that's why we baptize infants. But it doesn't mean that they have actual sin and thus actual guilt, right? So there's the difference between the deprivation of grace and the guilt that comes with actual sin. And you see this through Mary. The only reason I didn't go into that with Redeem Zoomer is that I didn't want the whole debate to get sidetracked into talking about Marian doctrines. In the Orthodox Church, Mary is the proof of our doctrine of original sin because we believe that she died. So she was a daughter of Adam. So she had the effects of original sin, but she didn't commit actual sin. She's a spotless virgin. So how do you die and not be liable to actual sin? Only the Orthodox position makes sense of that. X-Trip. Is the Timothy Ware book bad for inquirers? Yeah, it's not the best book. I would say read Losky or somebody like that, or Meindorf. Ryan Finley, $5. They're scared and they have a fake niceness. Yeah, these guys' presentation of niceness, it's just fake, dude. St. John Chrysostom said we must not mind insulting men if by respecting them we offend God. Yeah, that's a great quote. Guys, thank you so much. Head on over to chalk.com, use promo code J60Live to get 60% off all those great Chalk products. I got to go do another show right now, and I will be back very soon. Maybe we'll try to do as many podcasts as we can in terms of like daily podcasts and live streams. I love doing it. Also, remember to